And I think we're live. And I think we're live on a Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, 1300. Seems like it's kind of a cool day to just kind of hang out, maybe do a quick video. It's hot as hell outside, so I've been out most of the morning. Quentin James, Ron, and Simon, how you guys doing? Boy, you guys are sitting right by your phones, huh? Cheers. It's not alcohol yet, but same to you, Dave. Same to you, my man. What's happening? Hey, Nick. Not too much, buddy. Just chilling out. Thought I'd come on and just do a quick little video on Sunday. Haven't really done a guitar video in a few weeks, so I figured, we've been doing firearms videos and fitness videos and stuff like that, so I figured we'd come on and, just kind of see what's going on. Do a little guitar stuff today. Talk about today, part of the video. Hey, James. How you doing, Jim? Good to see you, my man. Mr. Gavigan. Chad, what's up? Not too much, dude. Not too much, guys. Thanks for jumping in. Thought we'd just have a little fun on Sunday afternoon and talk a little bit about a couple of things. The Franky upgrades, and talk a little bit about my Steinberger guitar, which has got some cool stuff happening to it right now. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about this kind of a neat little project I got going here. I thought we'd just talk about just jam on a couple little riffs and have some fun. But, so yeah. Young Guns 2, I love Young Guns, man. Young Guns 1 was my favorite, but Young Guns 2 was great, too. Those are I love those. John Kenny! I haven't seen those movies in, boy, it's been a long, long, long time. So, anyways. So what's everybody up to on a Sunday afternoon? What's everybody got going on, other than Ron watching Young Guns 2? Anything? Oh, yeah. Just making roast beef dinner. Ooh, that sounds tasty. What time is dinner served? I'll make sure I'm there. I could go for some roast beast tonight. Sounds good. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I'm probably going to do some burgers on the grill. But so anyways, I just got back from church. I went to church. My son Connor was speaking today. He leads the youth group. I'm really proud of him. He's a great kid, and he speaks maybe once a month or so. Our pastor has him come up and just kind of give some, not a sermon, but kind of a speech on what he's been learning. It's actually pretty cool, and he's one of the only kids that they do that with. He's going to be 20 next month, believe it or not. Oh my gosh, seems like it's gone by like that, But he did a great job today. I'm really proud of him. So he got up and spoke about the Lord and stuff like that. I'm not going to get all religious on anybody because I don't want to push anything on anybody, but I was real proud of my son this morning, so that was pretty awesome. So I just got back, and a little while ago did a quick 4-mile run. And I don't usually work out on Sundays, but I just kind of felt like it today. I worked pretty much all yesterday, and I was on call all last night. Thank goodness I didn't get any calls, but so I didn't really get a chance to do any training or anything. So I figured maybe I'd go for a run today, and that'd be about it. But just making roast beef, half an hour. I'll save an extra. Set me an extra place, dude. That'll be great. I'll be there. Hey, Parabot, what's up, man? Barney's great. Barney, come here. David wants to say hi to you. Barney, come here. It's hot as hell outside, which doesn't matter to me, but he's not big for going on hikes in the woods and stuff. So say hi to Mr. Ennis. It's Mr. Ennis to you. It's David and me. Yeah, I don't need kisses. You just eating shit out of the cat box. Yeah, right, and then I get kisses. I still love you. There's no kisses until you have some water, okay? What is it with dogs? You give them all this food and they don't like that, but they'll go eat shit out of the cat box. Huh? Or they'll eat grass outside. It's like you won't... I don't know. No kisses until you're... I saw you in there a few minutes ago before I went live. So, no, he's doing good, though. Okay, you go hang out. Go get your toy. I'll play with you while we're hanging out here. He's doing good though. He's doing good. So yeah. Anyways, this thought it'd be kind of fun just to jam today a little bit. I'm playing on a clean channel. Again, I'm not running through my big rig, so I don't have my flanger or anything. All my effects. I'm just running through my little THR 10X, which I love that thing. I mean, Dave Nesdahl, my buddy, was the one that kind of turned me onto that, and I'm just loving it. But I haven't really done too much with a bunch of settings. I have a clean channel with some chorus set, presets, because you can do presets with it other than just worrying about the knobs all the time. And I have a balance era sound right here, right now, balance era kind of sound. And then I have this kind of sound that I'm playing now, which is kind of a close, it's more of a reverby hall sound versus a balancey delay. A little bit of chorus, but it's more of a VH1 up to like fair warning. I mean, like I said, you can hear you don't hear a delay, but you hear like a hall, like more of a hall reverby sound. So it's very like, everybody wants some, So it's got that real kind of reverby sound, and as much as I love the balance era sound, I mean that's my favorite sound. But every once in a while, when I'm jamming on the Franky and stuff, it's like I kind of go through a little different taste sometimes. So I was kind of jamming on some fair warning stuff and a little bit of Everybody Wants Some this morning. So it's kind of cool, just something a little different, kind of messing around with that. Doing Johnny Bean's kind of famous Darth Vader lick. I haven't done that on this one. Let's see, how the hell that go? Something like that. It's kind of a cool little lick. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Sometimes I wonder, he was using slide on the beginning of that, and I got a slide over there. I was too lazy to get up and get it. Mr. Hicks, how you doing, Clayton? Today is Steinberger Sunday. Yeah, it is, except I don't have my Steinberger, and I'm going to chat about that in just a few minutes. But anyways, I just thought we'd get on and just kind of mess around a little bit. If anybody's got any requests on anything, and actually, I have a request if any of you guys can help me out. Remind me to ask. I'm trying to remember how to play something, and the tablature book, it's not right. I don't think it's right, but I'll get into that after. I got a message on Instagram late last night. Late last night from a gentleman by his screen name is Gunner's Guitars. And he was asking me if, I got the message a couple of days ago, but him and I were kind of going back and forth with some stuff. And a few days ago, I just put a couple little videos up on Instagram, one with my Ernie Ball Music Man and one with my 5150. And I was just doing some tapping stuff. Again, it wasn't perfect or anything like that. I was just messing around, so I thought I'd post it. I don't ever post, me playing guitar videos to show how good I am or anything like that, because I'm really not. I mean, it's, I like to play and I have a good time, and I'm always learning. I've been playing guitar for 25 years and I still feel like a total beginner sometimes, but I have my good days, my bad days, but I always love to play, and it's always fun to learn new things. And so I never post stuff like, just to show off. That's not the intent. It's just to kind of have fun and kind of get people, maybe if a couple of people watch something that I do, maybe they'll go, oh, that's pretty cool, and it's kind of inspiring to play or whatever. And certainly there's people that can play this stuff 10 times better than me, because like I said, I think we're all learning. But one of the things that I was doing, and it's actually, I'll do it on this guitar, and just going to kind of answer Brendan's, not Brendan, hey Brendan, how you doing? I saw you in there. Gunner's guitar question was, he had a question on the kind of the Mean Street Live Without a Net lick. But before I get into that real quick, a lot of people have been asking me how you do that Van Halen, Mean Street tapping thing. All right, now it's not easy. It's very, very hard to play that clean. And this is the way I do it, okay? Now I know I pretty much have the pattern down right. Sometimes it's tough, and the thing is you can't just go ripping at it, because if you start just kind of randomly, I mean, it sounds okay, but there's actually a particular pattern to it, and a lot of people don't get this right, but I've done a lot of research on it, not just in tab books, but talked to a lot of people. Craig from CHS Guitars is really, really good at this. Yeah, you're right, Pariah, about fun is the key. To Chad, stop it, you challenged me yesterday. Well, that's good. I get challenged every day of my life, not just on guitars. But basically what you want to do, and this is how I do it, this is not the only way to do it, but this is what seems to work the best for me. And again, it's very difficult to play this really clean, all right, because there's just so much going on. If you play on an electric guitar with distortion, you're going to pick up all kinds of unwanted, noise and feedback, which is cool sometimes, but on this particular lick, keeping it clean is key. So what I do is I use my first finger and I fret, the first 5 strings, and I don't fret the low E string, the 6th string. All right, I just lightly fret. I just kind of lightly mute them, and then I use my other 3 fingers to just do this. This is that tapping here. Okay, and if you don't mute it, this is what you get. So you're going to get all that unwanted noise. So that's why I just use my finger and I lightly mute. So when I do the tapping, the slapping there, that kind of bassy kind of thing. Hey, Frankie Jones, what's up, man? You get a much better sound than, now you get. Okay, and then basically what you do, you take your index finger and you're tapping on the 12th fret, on the B string and the high E string. Okay. That's what you're tapping on. And then with your thumb, you're tapping on the low E string. Just kind of like Romeo Delight. Now there you go. It's that same thing. That's what you're doing. So when you combine those 3 particular techniques, basically you got this, and you got this. Okay, and that's basically, those are the 3 things that he's doing, but he's doing them in a particular sequence. And the sequence basically is this, all right? Your index finger, tap, thumb, here, so it's, wait, hold on, no, it's, so basically it's, tap with your index finger, slap, thumb, slap, tap, slap, thumb, thumb. Okay, one more time slow. It's so hard to do it slow. Tap, slap, thumb, slap, tap, slap, thumb, thumb. All right? So when you put it together slowly, this is what you get. And again, it's hard to do it clean. And I still got a lot of work to do on this, but it's... And when you put it together and you play it fast, you can work it up. And the trick is obviously is to just try to play it clean, and that's where the muting down here comes in. So, again, I mean, sometimes when I'm, not feeling it, I'll just kind of just do a random. But you see here how that's kind of, it doesn't really sound right because it's just kind of random. Now Eddie's doing it with a lot of feel, but he is actually hitting those exact, pretty much that pattern. And then you work it up. Like I said, I mean, I haven't played guitar this morning for very long, but yesterday I was doing it and I had it going pretty good, pretty fast. But that's basically all it is. So just work it up slow. For those of you guys that don't know how to do it, I'm sure some of you guys know how to do it real well. And then you work it up and you got it. And then of course Eddie goes into, you know, and we went on that. So if you guys see my Instagram thing, I did it the other day, and it sounded a little bit better. But that's kind of the slapping thing that he does. Let's see. Still got the green Music Man guitar. Yes, I do. It's right up there on the wall. I'll show it to you guys later. But there's another part, and Eddie did this in the 80s, and he did it on a solo, and he was actually doing it, you know, in the 82 tour, and then still does it up to today. And when I did the Instagram video the other day, if you guys see my Instagram, it actually came out okay. I was actually kind of pleased with it. It's a little sloppy, unwanted noise in there, but for the most part, I was actually pretty happy with it. So I'll just break it down because this is one of the questions that Gunner's Guitars had. So basically, you're doing the same thing, but what you do is, what I do, anyway, this is how I think Ed does it. He moves his hand up here, okay, and he only does it twice, and he goes, okay, so he does it only 2 or 3 times. He's still hitting the B and the high E, and then thumping on the low E. But then he comes up to the 14th fret, and he basically hammers on with his index finger the D string and the G string. Okay, then he comes down to the same strings on the 12th fret. Okay, that's all he's doing. Okay, so when you put it together, that's what he's doing. And then he goes into this random bunch of stuff, and he kind of does it, you know, all over the place. And it's kind of, you know, and he'll do stuff even. He just adds all these little fills in there, and then he'll even. He's always got that kind of nifty, kind of classy stuff in there. But that's basically all he's doing. It takes a while to do it. Like I said, the other day when I posted those videos on Instagram, I'd been playing for about 2 hours straight, you know, and I'd had a couple beers in me, and I was feeling great, and I was just like, oh, okay, I'll just, take a couple videos. So it's kind of fun. So that's why I posted those. And like I said, there's a million people can do it 10 times better than that, but it's kind of fun. Every once in a while I'll post something, just maybe inspire somebody. But just real quick for Gunner's Guitars, that first part, like I said, it's basically, this is your pattern. Just mute here, tap, or thump, I call it thump, and then here, and then thump. So it's and the key is obviously to keep it, keep it clean and not hit as many unwanted notes. And it takes time. And then up here, again, that's all you're doing. Now, the other affiliation, guys, in Judgment Day when Eddie does this, okay, it's kind of like that, except on this particular one, the version I'm doing, he doesn't come over the top. He's still underneath, all right? Now he's tapping the same strings. He's tapping on the 14th fret, the 15th, the 17th, 19th, and the 20th, and the 21st. All right, I think that's what it is. And he's muting with this finger again, all the strings, and he's using his ring finger. And you can just go right up. He's actually doing all the strings. He's doing 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, and that's on the G string. But he's muting. See, so you don't get all that unwanted noise. So you're using your index finger to lightly mute, and you're taking your ring finger and you're hammering on the G string, and then you're taking these two fingers, your index finger and your third finger, or your middle finger, I should say, and you're hitting the D and B string. And you're kind of going alternate, though. You're not at the same time. You're hitting the B first, then the D. and then you put in this one here. So basically you're hitting the D string, the G string, and the B string, and you're doing it with these 3 fingers. That's all it is. It's pretty easy. Well, it is easy, but it's hard to do totally clean, all right? And you just got to work it up. So I mean, you basically just... And that's pretty much all it is. The key is just work it up slow. And then the only other one I'll show you is he's also doing this after he does. So basically, all you're doing is you can do it with whatever finger. I use my ring finger on my left hand. And basically, I'm hammering on the G string and the B string, and I'm alternating. And then I'm also every once in a while hitting the high E. See what I mean? You're just kind of alternating. I'll do it slow. It's kind of like up close. See how I'm going back and forth? Then you just come down here and you bend the G string on the 8th fret. Well, I'm sorry, the B string. So it's up close. That's pretty much all it is. And then he has another fill in there where he goes like this. You know, he's doing the Spanish fly thing. Remember Spanish fly? I mean, you can just have fun with it. And then he's also doing... He just adds all these fills in there. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. It's just kind of fun. So when you put the whole thing together and you start feeling it, it's just, you know, it's a good time. There's so much stuff you can do. You know, I mean, Eddie just is classic at picking stuff out. He's got all kinds of little like. You know, I mean, it's really just it's just a lot of fun. It's just a lot of like different stuff that he does. There's really nothing, you know, there's nothing difficult about any of it. It's just he plays it clean, and Eddie's the master at muting stuff, so you don't get all that unwanted noise, you know. You know, another one, like I said, is one of my favorites. Is and it's tough to do. Sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I'm not. Is Romeo Delight You? You know, hitting that low E is key, and then being able to mute it quick when you come into, you know. Then it's just all, you know, timing and technique. I mean, it's hard to play clean, but anyway, just a couple little things right there. Kind of fun. So, what else we got? Let's see. Sounds good. Thank you. I hope Jalen is doing great. Yeah, I think so. She's doing good. So, let's talk just for a couple of minutes about this Frankenstein guitar. And I've showed you guys this. This is the one that Nick Amendolara did. It's one of my favorites, and obviously the 5150 is my favorite Van Halen guitar, but the Franky, I mean, it's got to be right up there too. So having a pretty accurate Franky is, you know, is pretty cool for me, being into this stuff for, you know, 20-something years. You know, building these things or whatever. This is definitely the coolest one I've ever had. I'm lucky to have it, and I'm going to give Nick Amendolara all the credit on this one. For the build, for the paint job, I'll say. I mean, I've had this guitar for 15, 16 years, and I painted the first one myself, and I was very happy with it. But like I said, it had a lot. It's too much grainy, and so Nick filled everything in, and you know, and repainted it. And this was after he saw the real one at the Met. So, you know, we just nailed it. So one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to upgrade this pickup in here, the single coil. Because the one that I had was okay, but the more I looked at the real one, I was like, man, mine is just off. I guess you would say the very fine pattern on the top was just a little bit off. I mean, it would have been fine for any normal, reasonable thinking person, but for me, it was like, I can do better than that. And Sean Christopher from Pariah Pickups, who I've used many of his pickups from before, he just does a great job. He really does. He's amazing. And of course, he makes a copy of this pickup for Eddie's, and it's spot on. Eddie's was a single coil Mighty Mite pickup, and as far as we know, it was never activated. It was never active. It might have been back in the 70s, maybe up to 79, 80. But then at some point, he unhooked it, and it wasn't active. Like I said, actually, it might have been active in 79 because back when he had a middle pickup too, and this stuff was all jammed down here without a pick guard right after he painted it red. But eventually, it became to where it wasn't active or hooked up anymore. So that was the first mod that I did back a month and a half ago when I got this guitar back from Nick. And the other thing that I did, actually, there's another thing I forgot that we talk about on this guitar that I did. Excuse me, also. And the other thing I did was I was happy with the pickup that was in the middle. That was in the bridge. It was actually a Frankenstein pickup, an EVH, not the relic one, not the signature one, but just the one that you can get, over the counter. It looks new, and I kind of reliced it a little bit, and it was all right, but I never liked it quite as much because when you'd roll off the volume to kind of clean things up, it got real muddy sounding, and that very well could also be the volume pot or possibly the jack. It doesn't necessarily have to be the pickup, but I mean, I liked it, but it I don't know, and I guess I could say I was so happy with this that about 2 weeks ago I got a hold of Sean again, and I said, "Hey, dude, you make a PAF style Frankenstein relic copy for the EVH version, right?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So I got this from him, and he reliced it, he aged it, he melted part of the top to look like Eddie's, and I'll show you real quick up close, but right here there's like all indented on the plastic where Eddie would, all those years he would do all that stuff in a solo, and also in Everybody Wants Some, he was always thumping on that, and Romeo Delight and Breakdown. So what happened is the pickup, the plastic got kind of charred up and mangled. Plus there was some rust on the pole pieces and stuff like that. So, and for me, it's not just about looks. It's also, I want it to look exact as much as possible, but I also want it to play great. And this guitar is an amazing player too. I'm very, very lucky. And again, Sean knocked it out of the park. I got this guitar, this pickup for an amazing price. He's very fair in his prices, and it's just as good as any real PAF pickup. And I'll tell you, it sounds better than the EVH version was all relic. So if you can kind of check it out, I don't know if it's bright enough in here, but you can kind of see, if you get on my Instagram page, you'll see. But you can kind of see how it's a little bit, you can see right here where it's, where it's been kind of reliced a little bit, and the pole pieces are a little rusty. It's got the long legs on. That was the other thing. It's got the long legs, whereas my last one didn't, so I had to use spacers to build it up, whereas these, I got to do exactly what Eddie did. I bent them. I bent the legs to make it just like Eddie's to get the height right. So I got the height perfect. I installed it yesterday myself and had my buddy down the road wire it. And so I'm just totally excited. And like I said, it just sounds, I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it sounds amazing. It even cleans up nice, I'm very, very happy. It's got a very woody, kind of brownish kind of sound, you know. I'm very happy with it. I love it. It feels great. Plays great. Sounds good. So kudos to Mr. Sean Christopher on blowing it out of the park again. I mean, the pickup in my 5150 is a PV Wolfgang Zebra copy because Eddie has a PV Wolfgang in his 5150 now. He has ever since '96 when he switched it over and he went with PV. And I mean, that sounds exactly like the pickups in my PVs. I mean, he's amazing. So, yeah, anyways, I'm pretty happy with it. And the only other thing that I've done to this guitar in the last few 6 weeks or so since I got it was I had crown heads on it, like Eddie's Gatto crown heads. But unfortunately, the tabs, and this is really geeking out, okay? But unfortunately, the tabs on the back weren't drop tabs like Eddie's are on his. They were 45 degrees. They weren't 90s, but they were 45, and it was close. And I was just like, you know, it's like I'm okay with that. And then, you know, an hour later, it just annoys me because if I identify something that's not accurate, I want to fix it. I'm very obsessive compulsive like that, which is a good thing, but it's also it's a double-edged sword because it also be a massive curse too. I'm a perfectionist at everything I do, from fitness to martial arts to building guitars, not playing, but building. And, you know, and again, like my mom and dad always tell me, they said, you know, you were blessed, cursed with being a perfectionist. Every time I put my mind to something, I do it times 120, and I will not stop until I've gotten what I want. Like I said, that's a good thing, but it's also not always a good thing because it can come back and bite you and it can be a royal pain in the ass. But I'm looking at these tabs and I'm like, that's okay. No big deal. And then like a couple of weeks later, I call my buddy Mark Blankenship and I'm like, dude, can you help me out? He's like, what do you need? And I said, I need some tuners. I need some drop tab tuners. He goes, well, I got some drop tab tuners with Godos, just like you want for the Franky, but they don't have crown heads on them. It's fine. I'll just swap the heads. So he sent me those, and I got them. So I got the right tabs on the back. I got all the right holes. So they got the drop tabs. They're exactly just like Eddie's now. But a little interesting history. So I get the tuners in, right? And these were Godos before. So I get the tuners in. I take all the heads off. And then I take all the heads off, take these heads off, the original Godos, 90 degree ones that were on there, and or 45s, excuse me. And I go to put these heads on these tuners, and they won't fit. The freaking poles are too big. And I'm going, fuck, really? Are you freaking kidding me? They're both Gattos. How can the freaking tabs or the heads be too, the holes in the heads be too small? Oh, great. So now I got two sets of tuners. If I could combine them, they'd be great. And that was my intention. Now I can't put the freaking crown heads on. So I'm like, all right, well, I mean, the most important thing is the crown heads. You got to have the crown heads. That's what people notice the most. And that's what, obviously Fender got wrong on their replicas. They didn't use crown heads. Whatever, it's their business. But, so then I had this harebrained idea. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I took all the heads downstairs and I took a drill bit just a little bit bigger than with a hole in these heads. I took them out to my vise, put the heads on, some cloth so I didn't damage them or scratch them, and I just hogged them out a little bit. and I did one first, and it was a little bit still too small, so I took one more size bigger and hogged it out again, and it went in. It fit perfect, and once you tighten the set screw down on the top, the machine head actually works fine. So I was like, yes. So actually, as you can see again, they came out really good. They fit right down there fine. So it was a little bit of ingenuity. I didn't have to sell them or get rid of them. I was able to use them. And the other heads fit perfectly on the other, the classic Schaller heads fit perfectly on the other tuners because they were bigger. And again, it's you can put bigger on smaller, but putting smaller on bigger is a little different. When you put bigger on smaller, they'll work most of the time because once you put tighten that screw down, it cinches everything down and then it grabs and the machine head works. But again, I just hogged it out a little bit and they work fine. And again, typically you're not manipulating these very often on a Floyd guitar because your nuts clamp, and pretty much 90% of your tuning, unless you do a string change, is done down here. But they still work perfectly, knock on wood. So I lucked out. So I was pretty pumped about that. The Chad, very nice. I learned a few things there for sure. Well, that's cool, man. That's cool. So yeah, so between my Frankenstrat with the the two new pickups, they're great, man. And I'll tell you, I'd recommend Sean Levine from Pariah Pickups. Sean Christopher is his name, but I'd recommend Sean from Pariah for any of your pickup needs. And I'm not slamming Duncan. I'm not slamming DiMarzio, EVH. I'm not slamming anybody. I'm just giving him a little bit of a fist pump because he kicks ass with his stuff. And for the price of this thing, I'm not going to throw a price out, but I'm going to tell you it's very, very reasonable. This pickup is just as good as the signature EVH version, man. And this one here is exact too. And he even sent me the wires, so I was able to get the right wires in here. I had the wrong stuff in there before. One other little thing, a lot of you guys may not know, I don't know if Dave Nesdall's talked about this on his show at all, but Eddie had a whale-tail Floyd on this guitar for years and years and years. And then sometime in the early 90s, he put a regular Floyd on it, all right, or a regular, standard type Floyd. But what a lot of people don't realize, one thing that he did do, he had a whale-tail bar on it. So the whale-tail bar has a longer tail underneath, that it's got the longer stem, so to speak. This one is not a whale-tail bar. But what I did do to it, because the whale-tail bar is a little straighter than the regular Floyd bar, so I took it out to my vise and I just bent it back a little bit so it's got the right angle of a whale-tail bar. And a whale-tail bar doesn't use your typical Floyd collar. It basically just uses a nut and a nylon washer. That's all it is. It's just a nut you get at the hardware store. I don't know if it's 16 millimeter or what it is, but that's all it is. And then just a lock washer in the back. That's all it is. So if you look at Eddie's, that's what he's got. He's got a regular Floyd, but he's got the old school nut from the whale tail and the bar. And you get a little bit of wiggle room, but it still works perfect. And again, I took the springs and stuff off the bottom of my Floyd, so as you guys can see, I get a really nice, you can hear that, I get a really nice flush mount on this thing. So, yeah, between those things and I upgraded the pick guard, did another pick guard, so I got the swirly stuff there where the knobs would go to look like it was all scratched, and so it's cool. It's got the fogging on the back. Nick nailed that. Pretty cool. Cool guitar, a lot of fun. Yeah. How'd that go? How'd that sound go? Atomic Punk, there's one I haven't played in like a million years. There's actually a couple of riffs I was actually thinking about playing today, but now he's totally spaced out. But one thing I think we can definitely play just is a little bit of, because it's summertime. And again, the next topic of discussion is my Steinberger, so here's a good segue. I'm not tuned up, so it's not going to sound right. I'm actually tuned down, playing an E flat. How'd that go? Weird kind of. Come on. Something like that. And I think the breakdown, he's playing in standard, all the, where Sammy's singing, that's all in standard. And then for the solo part, actually Nesdal just showed me this last week because I never could figure out, he actually locks the bar down one notch, and then he's, something like that, and then the end part's funny, and then he's doing all the, he's doing all that crazy stuff, and at the end, he's just doing fun, he's just wailing away on the bar. So on my Steinberger, just tell you guys a little bit about what's going on. Hey Jalen, how you doing? Just want to tell you a little bit about on my guitar. So when I was out visiting Nesdal a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago, whatever it was, I went to pick my guitar up because Dave had mine for a while, and he ended up acquiring his own. And I just decided, I said, hey, on the way back, why don't we just take a road trip and we'll stop and we'll go see the man, and I'm going to drop my GL2T off and have him just go through it. So I met the guy that owns Headless Guitars, Don Greenwald is his name, and Jeff Babbitts works for Don, and Jeff is the guy that built Eddie Van Halen's GL2T guitar. All right, and I always thought that my guitar was, in great shape and it played fine and there was nothing wrong with it, and it did play fine. But what I didn't realize was, I thought I was just going to be dropping it off or just, I'm like, hey, just have the guy just go through it, whatever. Well, come to find out, it needs a lot of work. It needs a complete trans-trem rebuild. It needs a refret job. And there's some different mods that Eddie's had, like a 0 fret mod and some work to the nut and stuff like that. So it needed a whole bunch of work, all right? And basically, when I dropped it off, he looked at it and he was like, all right, I'll get back to you. So he called me a couple of days later. Jeff Babbitts came and picked it up and checked it all out and told me, okay, what do you want to do? I mean, they'll do nothing, they'll do a couple things, or they'll do everything that they recommend. And because it's such a special guitar to me and it's something that I've had for so long, I said, you know what, just go through the whole thing, just give it a total, complete rebuild, reboot, whatever. Just do it. Because that's one guitar that I hope I can have for, at least the rest of my life, so to speak. So, he's going to do it. So I'm honored to say that my Steinberger GL2T is going to come back to me like a brand spanking new instrument, because the whole trans-trem is going to be rebuilt. It's going to have new saddles, new rollers, new screws, new washers, new everything, new springs in the trans-trem, new trem arm, new everything, new locking latch. Like I said, complete brand new fret job with the 0 fret mod that Eddie had, new nut. He's going to buff the neck and the back of the body. Can't really buff the faceplate much because I painted the faceplate years ago, so he's just going to clean it up and basically just go through all the pots, replace the pots, pretty much do everything to the guitar. Actually, he's putting new pots in it too, new electronics. So it's basically going to be like a brand spanking new Steinberger GL2, and it's going to look like it just came out of the factory. Because when I saw Dave's, I was like, damn, this thing is amazing. And I guess when I was playing Dave's, I'd never played another Steinberger before. I've had that guitar for all these years, and I know how to play trans-trem, but I never played a different one. So when I played Dave's, I was like, wow, this bar is really tight, and not tight in a bad way, but it just feels smooth. The whole guitar felt real tight when you play it, like tight in a good way, like locked in tight, you know. It wasn't sloppy or loose, and feeling his frets, I'm like, oh yeah, mine does need a total refret. Because when you're feeling a graphite neck, like on a Steinberger, they're not wood, they're not rosewood, they're not ebony, it's graphite, so it feels different. And the weight of the guitar is different because you don't have a headstock, and it's a tiny little broomstick body, so the weight's a little bit different. And I kind of never really liked playing. I liked playing mine, but it always felt not easy to play. And then I realized when I played Dave's, a lot of the reason mine wasn't easy to play was because it just needed so much work. So it's getting the whole ball of wax, so it's going to be like brand new when I get it back in a month. So I'm pretty freaking pumped up. I'm definitely pumped. So my Steinberger is at Headless Guitars with Don Greenwald, and Jeff Babbitt's is working on it right now, in the next couple of weeks, and I should be getting it back. And I'm honored to say that the guy that built Eddie Van Halen's GL2T and still is in communication with Eddie on a regular basis is in the process of rebuilding mine now too. So I'm pretty pumped. So a couple of you guys saw I offloaded a couple of guitars the other day. Chad Wall actually bought my 918V. I gifted him my 918V, and I'm going to be rebuilding another one. I'll be doing another 918V here, and I'm going to try to knock this one really out of the park. My Kramer Pacer Purple Rockinger Lawsuit headstock Godot Crown Head Gold Tuner guitar that I probably never really wanted to sell. I actually had to sell that to acquire the money to get the Steinberger guitar fixed because it's costing a lot of money. I had no idea it was going to cost as much as it did. I didn't anticipate that much. But when I really looked at it, I said, I'd rather have that Steinberger in action, and I really don't want to sell any of my other Van Halen guitars, so I figured I'd sell the Kramer Pacer. And it went to a collector. So he's happy, so I'm shipping that out tomorrow. And I got enough money to pay for the Steinberger and to build another 918V. So I'll be back in action here pretty soon, and eventually I may get another one of those Pacers, but I like that. I just never played it too much. So let's see what we got for questions. Your nut is clamped. What happened, Rob? That's no good. Oh, yeah. Okay, I thought you were serious here for me. Now I know what you mean. Let's see. What's up, Brad? Question: Eddie Van Halen Bumblebee on eBay, $700, good deal. Yeah. I mean those. I've had a bunch of custom ones over the years, but this last one I got is a EVH. It's highly modded, but yeah, they're great guitars. They're lovely necks. I did a lot to mine. I switched out the pickup. I put it to Marzio Super Distortion. It's got an original gold Floyd non-fine tuner on it. You know, obviously it's got I built the strap myself. It's got all Eddie's stuff on it. I put Schaller double tabs on the back because that's what Eddie's had. It's got a vintage prototype nut. I relic the headstock. I sanded off the EVH, put all the burn marks in there like Eddie's. This is an EVH neck plate, but I flipped it upside down so it didn't say EVH. Reliced it a little bit, you know, like Ed's. Got some little nicks and dings in it like Eddie's did, because this is how Eddie's was. You know, some picks and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I don't know how in tune it is, but it's actually not bad. Yeah, they are good guitars. $700, yeah. I wouldn't go over that. You can find these guitars all day long, anywhere from 6 to 900, 6 to 800 maybe. So 7's right in that zone. Yep. You shouldn't have to do anything to it because, like I said, they're pretty much plug and play. They are good guitars. I opted just to kind of geek out on mine a little bit because I wanted it a little bit closer to the 79 version. But yeah, that's a great deal. That's a great deal. Not bad at all. Frankie, you got to take off. Cool. No problem. No problem. Have a good Sunday. So, let's see, there's something else I was going to talk about. What the heck was that other song I was going to talk about? Somebody asked me a question the other day, and they wanted me to... oh, I know what it was. This is a real easy one. Somebody asked me, and I don't know if they're watching or maybe they're just not chatting, but can you play In the Cradle Will Rock on guitar? Well, yeah, of course you can. You can play any song on guitar that was made on piano or piano on guitar. It's all the same. Eddie used the Wurlitzer electric piano. Now, I don't have a flanger. He was running his flanger, his MXR, through the Wurlitzer electric piano through his Marshalls, and that's how he was getting that. But you can kind of create that. You don't even need to use the piano. If I had a flanger, I could do. I have one, but I'm not playing through that rig right now. But basically, all that is, I mean, it's simple. In the Cradle Will Rock. It's real simple. It's all just power chords. That's all it is. And the solo, I don't think how that goes. The solo is something like. Seen Junior's Grades? Something like that. Then he just kicks into. It's something like that. He's just noodling around. He does it differently all the time. And if you watch him play that song on guitar live today, he's just doing all kinds of different stuff. He doesn't even play it the same way that he played it back home. So that's pretty simple. Yeah, I mean, it's all just, what's that, an A chord? A, G, and yeah, A and G. It's the same thing as You Really Got Me. Same thing. Everything he does is all in there. I mean, nothing Eddie does is really that impossible. His technique and his feel and his rhythm guitar playing is what, in my opinion, is where Eddie's real gift and talent lies. He doesn't call anything that he does trickery. Nothing that he does is tricks. We all do it as tricks because, well, I'll speak for myself. we do it as tricks because it's cool. That's just part of his playing. But nothing that he does is really difficult to do if you practice it enough. Eddie's more of a feel player than he is anything else. I mean, look at the beginning of the solo to a perfect example is it's lead guitar, but look at the solo to "So This Is Love." Like when he comes in, I don't know how to play the whole solo. It's been a long time, but something like that. You know, just it's all just a groove as a feel. It's something like everything he does, it's all just feel, you know, it's all just a groove. That's where I believe his talent is more in his rhythm playing. It's just impressive. But what else we got? Yeah, I'd go for it, Brad. I mean, check it out. Yeah, they're great guitars. They really are. 700's not bad. Thanks, Frankie. Been trying to your core workout, just not there yet. Ab strength is rough. Have to be careful. Had hernia and mesh installed a few years ago and still working on it. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, Brad. Like I said in that video, the core workout, you don't have to start out doing 50 or 100 or sets like what I was doing. I was doing that as just an example of a goal that you can get to or above that. Start out with doing 15, sets of, just do a set of 15 of each exercise with 5 push-ups. Because anytime, as you know, as a personal trainer myself, anytime you're doing any kind of pushing, push-ups, chin-ups, pull-ups, any kind of abdominal exercise, you're working your core, okay? And what that's going to do, it is going to put pressure on your lower abdominal area and your lower abdominal wall. And if you've had a hernia, and I had a hernia once before. Luckily, it didn't burst, but I did have it, and I had to go really easy. So you do have to be careful. I'm going to give you a little advice. A lot of relief that you can get from herniated areas in your abdominal wall. Breathing. Just real good core breathing. Just sitting in a chair where you watch TV, real good deep breath. Not breathing from here, but breathing from your diaphragm, Really deep breathing. It relaxes all your muscles and things like that. And a lot of people don't really take advantage of that. We all breathe to survive, but very few of us in life really know how to breathe effectively. Breathing is an art in itself. And that's why us in martial arts, we practice so much, and it sounds silly and kind of dumb, but I'm telling you, I'm 45 years old, and don't get me wrong, I get injured like anybody else, but I know people that are 10 years younger than me that complain about every kind of, oh, my back hurts, and I'm not picking on anybody watching the show. I'm just going to say this, I'm not saying you either. I think that I'm going to wrap this up with something here in a second, but I have friends of mine that are, 10 years younger than me, 35, 40, and, I got to go get knee surgery, I got to do this, I got to do this, I have, this and that, or my back, I got to have back surgery. No, you need to go on a diet because you're too fucking fat, and your knees were not meant to cart around an extra 100 pounds. It's kind of that simple. Everybody wants to go get surgeries and this and that. Lose some weight, eat better, take care of yourself. You don't have to go run 5 miles a day. Walk. Eat before 8 o'clock at night. Start taking care of yourself and watch how much better you feel. You might not even need to get the knee surgery. Look at Eddie Van Halen back in the Balance Tour. His hip was all messed up, right? He didn't have the hip surgery until 99, 2000. He dropped like 20 pounds for the 98 tour. He was jumping around again with no hip surgery. 20 pounds makes a huge difference. So I'm just saying that because it makes me laugh how much people resort to, like my aunt, she's 70 years old and she's having a difficult time with a lot of medical stuff, and she's going to get cortisone shots and all this, but she will not take my advice on fitness. She will not do what I tell her to do. And I'm giving her a very toned down thing. and she just won't do it. She just will not. No, no, no. But she'll go to the doctors and spend all this money and medical insurance and all this and physical therapy. See, doctors were not meant to fix your problems. Okay? Doctors were meant to manage your problems and control them. Because if they fix your problems, guess what? You're not going to come back to them anymore. Doctors don't want to fix you. They want to just manage you so you keep coming back. That's why they're all rich and why they stay in business. It's just like cures for cancer. You think that this country's going to give a cure for cancer? There is a cure for cancer, I believe. There is a cure for cancer. They're not going to release it because you put the frickin' pharmaceutical companies out of business. It controls population. Nobody wants to cure cancer. They want people to die, so the population's controlled. It's common sense, and people don't want to admit that. And I'm not slamming doctors, but there's a lot of them out there that just love giving you their frickin' Drano to drink or whatever, giving you the operations because they know you're not going to take care of yourself. They know you're not going to go join a gym and work on real true therapy, which is not just physical but also mental. They want you to keep coming back so they keep making money. So, anyways, back to what you said, Brad. Keep working on it, and you don't have to do a set of 100. You don't have to do just go easy. Just go easy. Breathe. Get up in the morning, and don't forget the stretching piece too. The stretching piece is really going to be very important, especially if you have a hernia. But go easy and build it up. And once you start feeling pressure or any kind of pain, stop. All right. But yeah, do those exercises. But just like I said, do 15. Just do a set of 15, and another set of 15. Build it up. And what you'll start doing is you may have the hernia, but you'll start building the muscle tissue around that hernia. My mom, she's almost 70. She dislocates her shoulder all the time. And again, I've given her exercises to do with these 5-pound dumbbells, flies and different exercises. I'm a personal trainer. And my mom just won't do it, but she keeps blowing her shoulder out all the time. And it's like, Mom, you've got to build muscle tissue around that injured area. But people want results like that. They want that immediate gratification. Give me that pill so I can lose 30 pounds in a week. Give me that exercise. Oh, I went to the gym. Why am I still fat today? It takes time. It takes dedication. It's no different than playing guitar. Anything that you put your mind to, it has to be a mental thing. It's not so much a physical thing. Everybody's looking to get that magic fix. It's the magic fix is in your head. It really is, But 802 Redneck, what's going on, man? Hey Jay, what's going on? Yeah, I hope everybody is having a nice Sunday. 708. I'm not making a generalization on that, Jay. What I was saying is there's certain people out there that just want to rely on that doctor or that surgery. Yes, there's absolutely legit reasons for operations. My dad had both hips replaced, and he needed it. He's not fat; he's in great shape. He was hard on his body a lot of years, but it's just something to keep in mind. A healthy way of living, a healthy lifestyle is always going to benefit anybody. But yeah. Playing ice hockey 3 days a week, yeah, that can be pretty brutal too, for sure. Huh? I played football for years, and I'm surprised I still can walk. Thank goodness for martial arts, because that was the therapeutic part. But yeah, no, you're right, Jay. There's definitely staying active is good, and you look like you stay in really good shape, anyways. I mean, I've never physically met you, but you look like you stay in pretty good shape. Chad, gotta run, my man. Hey, good to see you too. Thank you very much. Yeah, Jay, I mean, it's just a theory I have, I mean, I just believe that, I mean, everybody's on some kind of medication today, whether it's depression medication or pain medication or whatever, and a lot of them are totally legit, A lot of people go, oh, we didn't need that way back in, the 40s and 50s. Well, things were different back then. There's a lot of, life is different. Everybody wants to go back and say, well, back in the old days, things were better. Not so much. It's just everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. You can be the healthiest person on the face of the earth and be in the best shape and have to go through a back surgery or have to go through a knee surgery. It just makes me laugh because, an old boss of mine 10 years ago was really out of shape, right? And he wanted to take my martial arts class, so I said yeah. So he said, oh, my back really hurts and whatever, you know, I'm really concerned. And I said, well, hey, listen, just do me a favor, just give it a couple weeks. I'm not going to push you. I said, because when you take my class, you're not we may do sparring and stuff like that, but you're not in competition with anybody. You're in competition with yourself. You go at your own pace. There's no race. You know, it's not like you got to become part of the starting lineup. You're always in the starting lineup when you do like a martial art, because you're doing it for yourself. You know, it's more of a mind thing than it is necessarily a physical thing. So I convinced him, and he started. Within 1 month, he had dropped 15 pounds because I put my students through a pretty rigorous, you know, PT prior to class, and then the whole class is obviously physical, and everybody does what they can. I'm very, very firm about that. You know, you don't have to do what this guy does or this person does or this lady. You do what you can do. But obviously, people want to, you know, there's a lot of eyes looking around, so they want to do everything they can. He had dropped a considerable amount of weight, and his back didn't hurt him anymore. Now, that's not to say that his back problem went away, okay? But what it is to say is that he had dropped a bunch of weight. His legs felt better. He said he had more energy. Of course, he was eating better too, and he felt better, you know. And he started walking with his wife at night after work and stuff. And I was so happy to see that, because I've seen that so many times with all the people I've been blessed in the last 28 years of teaching martial arts. Doing it for, I think, 27, 28, whatever, doing it for like 33 years. But I've had so many students, you know, that have benefited from it. And then he stayed about a year and a half. And then I ended up getting a different job, and I ran into him maybe 6 months ago. I hadn't seen him in a while. And he had put on like double the weight that he had when I'd seen him. And he was telling me, oh, I had 2 hip surgeries and knee surgery and back. And I'm like, you know, and that doesn't mean that he necessarily didn't need it, but it's just, it was kind of, I felt kind of bad, you know. I was like, oh man, you know, he was doing so good. And right now he would only be 56. Yeah, because he's 11 years older than me. So it's like, he's still young, you know. It's like, oh man, that's a shame. But hey, everybody can make a change, but absolutely. Jay says, I think breakfast is overrated. I don't eat for 3 hours after I wake up and only eat 2 meals a day, about 8 hours apart, plus a couple of small snacks. You know what's funny, Jay? That's exactly like me. I never eat breakfast because I'm generally not hungry in the morning. I'll have massive amounts of coffee, which isn't really good for it either. But I don't eat breakfast. Sometimes, like on vacation or whatever, you know, or if like, you know, get up in the morning and make a big breakfast on a weekend, or yeah, I enjoy that. And you go out, sometimes I'll do that, but very rarely do I ever eat breakfast. And I'll eat like 1 or 2 meals a day, and you know, try to snack on like an avocado or something. Typically, the way, not to get back into guitars here in a second, but the last thing I'll just say is typically for me, in the wintertime, I don't do as much cardio, so I usually run at about 185 in the wintertime, because I lift heavier, so I put on a little bit of bulk in the winter. And then every summer I drop about 15 pounds. I mean, like right now, I'm back to my summer weight. I mean, I can even see in the camera. I mean, I'm more vascular. I'm not even, you know, I'm more vascular in the summer because I drop a lot of weight and I run. Like I ran 3-4 miles today, and I do all my core stuff. So I typically run about 170 in the summer. And I run about 180, actually not about 180, 184, 185 in the wintertime. And that seems to work for me, and I always feel pretty good. But yeah, everybody's got to find something that works for them, you know. Hey Jane, what's going on? Rob, I followed you on Instagram. Cool, awesome. All right, see you later, Jalen. So, yeah, all right, but anyways, hey, yeah, definitely, I'll be doing some more fitness videos and stuff like that, and giving you guys some more ideas on, you know, just basic stuff, you know, using Bosu balls and physio balls, and just some little things that you can do. What's up, Hef? How you doing, man? So, yeah, anyways, just talking about some guitar stuff earlier, and we were jamming a little bit, and so, one little thing I was going to show you guys. Jay, I don't know when you jumped in, if you heard the whole thing about the Steinberger deal, what's going on with my Steinberger, but if you didn't catch it, just bounce back just a little bit. But So I had this old neck and body just kicking around. I was literally almost going to throw them in the garbage because they're really not worth anything, and I wouldn't get much money for them if I was to sell them. It's a Kramer neck and a Kramer body. The neck I would probably use because it is a maple hockey stick neck, but it's got a big split down the back, so it's trash. Excuse me. So I was sitting here the other day and I'm going, this is not necessarily a guitar I'd build as a player, but not to call it a wall hanger, but just for some kind of a decorative thing. This is one of Eddie Van Halen's Kramers. You guys ever seen this one? This is a Kramer sustainer. You can see the sustainer knobs. Now that's an old Kramer. It looks like a rail, like a shallow rail type pickup, but I believe that's a sustainer. All right, and it's got a zebra, probably a Duncan in the bridge, Floyd Rose, right? Here's a headstock. Come on, I hate showing stuff on my phone, guys. I'm sorry, it's too damn bright. Well, anyways, you get the idea. It says Kramer. It's a tilt back hockey stick, kind of a stubby looking neck, right? Here's the back of the body. Got the old Kramer logo. See, it's got the battery box and everything there. Pretty cool, right? And there's the back of the headstock. The back of the headstock's even striped. So you guys have probably seen that guitar in the EVH Guitar Man books, right? So I'm just like, what the hell? I got this sitting around rather than throw it in the garbage. Just be a weekend project sometime. Just stripe it up like that. I don't even have to make it a player, really. I don't even really care. Because it's not normally a guitar that I would want to pick up and play, but it's something cool to hang on the wall. So here's the neck. I got everything painted white yesterday. It's a tilt back hockey stick maple neck, but again, like I said, you can't see because I got tape on it here. It's got a big split here. It's still, you could probably still play it, but it's nothing I would ever, want to, put on a guitar. And it's got that kind of stubby, kind of hockey stick headstock, right? Perfect for that model, right? So I got it all striped, or all painted up white yesterday. And this body is not exactly the same, but once I get it striped, it'll be fine. This is an old Kramer Z. It's an old Kramer Z600, I think it is. So you'll notice I was too lazy to fill in. It had a single coil and a humbucker. I took a chisel and a hammer like Eddie Van Halen Classic and routed it out for a humbucker. Then I just put a piece of tape over this middle single coil, and once I paint it red, it won't matter anyways because nobody's going to see it. And I got a dummy pickup I'm going to put in here, and then I got a dummy pickup here, all zebra stripe, and it's even got the holes here and everything, so it'll do the part for that particular guitar as a wall hanger. And like I said, it's not as stratty shaped as it should be for that. But once I get this all striped up, this is going to look pretty much just like that guitar. So just a little project I'm working on. I got all the parts. I'm not even going to put a real Floyd on it. I'll just put like a cheapo, junk thing that I got laying around because I don't want to waste a real Floyd on it. But I will make it look pretty cool. So that's just a little project I'm working on. And again, that's nothing more than just, rather than throwing the stuff in the garbage, just use something, just do something with it, It doesn't always have to be a playing guitar, Has anyone on the planet Earth heard when the 2019 Kramers are being released? I think when I was at NAMM, Winter NAMM, back in January, I think we're looking at September, October, I believe. I think. All right, that's what I think. September, October, I think is what we're talking about. Love the sustainer. I'll see your green music, man. Okay, I'll show that in a second. It's 5150 time. Yeah, it is. Can you show the seagulls on that Franky up close? Sure I can. And I'm going to show the green guitar for Janie. Yep. That's them. I'm going to give all the credit on this one to Nick Amendolara, the kid. What helps you as you get older is to not sit as much, walk around, working, standing up if you can. Sedentary lifestyle is a real enemy. Yeah, totally agree, JR. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, let me show the green. Music Man. Hold on. Hope she's in tune. Yeah, I love this guitar. Let's see. Let me see if she's in tune. Standard, I think. Not bad, actually. Yeah, here she is. It's kind of dark out there, so I'm sorry, but yeah, here we go. It's a little better. This was a Music Man Axis EX in green, and my good buddy Craig Stoffcoat from CHS Guitars redid it. Redid the headstock and the paint job, re-dyed it green with a kind of the green tinge that I liked. Hold on one second, let's see if I can show you guys a little lighter here. Here we go. It's got a nice pattern to it. He did a really, really nice job. So it's like a brand new guitar. It really is. There we go. Yeah, there. Okay, That's what I was looking for. How's that? Is that good, Janie? So it's an EX. It's not a signature EVH, but it's basically the same thing as it is. It's basically a real EVH version Music Man, and I like it. I put the some people say it's sacrilegious, but to do this to a real Music Man, but I put the welded eyelets on with the set screws like Eddie's. Came out pretty cool. I did put a big brass block on it. I don't know how much I like the brass block on these. I don't think you really need them. Because like the PVs, the standards, they all came with brass blocks. So they weren't big blocks, but sometimes brass blocks are good, but sometimes they're just a little bit too much, they're just too much. Yeah, seventh seal. Hey Johnny, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Let's see. What's happening, Tony? How are you? Jimmy Ka, what's going on, man? But yeah, this is a great guitar. I love this guitar. It plays real nice. There we go. Yeah, it sounds nice. Nice low action. I love the necks on these Music Man guitars. They really are pretty cool. Yeah. All original parts. Hello, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Same original pickups. I think all the Music Man EVHs, these, whatever, the same really, but came with tone zones, DiMarzios in the bridge, and then like Aaron Norton's in the neck. Shallow tuners. That's what these are. Obviously, they're all shallow tuners. Low friction 500K pots. Although actually I did replace that. I actually put an EVH pot in here. Not because the one I had on there was bad, but when I got this guitar, before I had it refinished, before I had Craig refinish it, the pot was just a little scratchy because it was kind of old. But and they're original Music Man bridges, I obviously threw a detune on it, I like it. It's a great guitar. It's these EXs. I mean, like I said, I have the green one and I got my amber one. They are every bit as good as as the signature EVHs. I mean, they're the same thing. They really are. They're basswood bodies, maple caps. They just have a veneer top over the maple cap, and the necks are the same. They're great. They're really cool. Janie says, I own a 1993 PV 5150, 120 watts, all two beasties. Yeah, they are amazing amps. I've never owned a 5150 PV head. I've owned numerous PV 5150 combos, and I got two of them right here in my wet-dry wet rig. And then my EVH 50 watt head on cab, which is the dry. But Johnny Bean actually owns one of the block logo 5150, I think 95 first heads. He's had that forever. Yeah, those are amazing. I've played through them, I've heard them, but I've never owned one. And yeah, that's definitely one to hang on to. I asked Nesdal last night, and he didn't know, but I'll ask you. Whatever happened to the Dave Sickle guitar that Rock used to play Ice Cream Man with back in the early 80s? That is in a museum right now. I can't tell you which museum because I don't remember. But I saw a picture about 3-4 years ago of that guitar. It was either that guitar or it was a mock-up of it. My guess would be it was that guitar. It's either in a hard rock cafe or some type of a rock and roll museum somewhere in this country, I believe. But it is on display somewhere, or it was at least a couple of years ago, unless it's been pulled. That's, as far as I'm aware, is where that is right now, for sure. Yep. Block letters were out 91, 90. Oh, okay. Jenny, I take that back. Then Johnny's must be a 91. Johnny, if you're still watching, I don't know when you bought yours, but yours was a 90. Was it 91? Well, it must have been, because that's what yours is. Ugh. Sorry, that was way off. Something like that. Yeah, I don't know if that was somebody getting me a doctor, but it was something kind of like that. Johnny, when did you get yours? Yours was a while ago, wasn't it? It must have been back in the early 90s. Had to have been. Man, I haven't played this guitar forever. I'm really liking it now that I played it. The cathedral setting for that. Check out Dr. B Rockstar on Instagram. Okay, I will. Definitely will. So what other guitars you guys want to see, since we're just talking about guitars? Anything else in particular? Most of you guys know what I got. Can't show you the Steinberger. Anything else is there I can show you guys that you haven't seen in a while? Pick a guitar. We'll talk about it. What do you guys want to say? Neptune? Okay. Forget how the rest of the solo goes. Something like that. Alright. So you guys want to see the Neptune? Again, I don't know if it's in tune, but I see it right here. There's another one, compliments of Mr. Chris Hubbard. I'm getting pretty lucky. These are actually, you know, it's because it's so hot and I got the air conditioner going, so all my necks come right back into shape again. It's pretty cool. Hey, what's going on, Mitch? How you doing, buddy? So, yeah, here's the Kramer Neptune guitar, and this is one of my favorites because I've had the luxury and fortunate ability to actually see the real one right up close. And last time I've seen it on a bunch of different occasions. First time I ever saw it was back in 2014 when I was in LA with a friend of mine. We were down there on business, and the second time was back in January for the NAMM show, and Johnny Bean, myself, and Caleb Rappaport, we were all out there, and we got a chance to see it again, and it was just awesome because I got some really awesome pictures of it. So this is my replica of it, and this is a real Kramer Pacer Deluxe body. So it's a real Kramer body, early 80s. And this is a Musicraft neck, which was heavily modified to the paddle-like headstock style. It was a 5150 style headstock, but Hubbard basically shaved it down, took a chunk of it off, and kind of rounded it out to make it look more to the real paddle-like style. Because Paul Unkert built this guitar for Eddie back in '82. And there's a lot of pictures of Eddie, you know, kind of helping out paint this guitar. He's the one that put the black stripes all over it. We've talked about that before. But they would cut a lot of these headstocks just kind of, as Paul would say, willy-nilly. They would just randomly cut them. They had different templates. They had a 5150 template. They had a, here's my Hot for Teacher. They had a Hot for Teacher template, which is just a little bit different than the 5150, just a little bit. And they had a template for another guitar. I think, oh yeah, it was this one. Yeah, the Kramer Ad guitar, which was a Walker body with big fat horns. This headstock's just a little bit different. It's hard to tell, but if you hold them next to each other, actually I was lucky enough when I was at Paul Unkert's house a few years back to actually see the actual paper templates that he had. It was so cool to see the real ones. And then everything else other than those three templates, they would just kind of randomly cut, and this was an example of that. The Kramer Ad guitar. So basically the Kramer Ad guitar, it's, this isn't a whale tail, but it's whale tailed out, so to speak. It was a whale tail Floyd Rose. This is a regular bar, but I straightened it out. I have brass tuners, I have steel blocks in here. I've taken all the stupid springs off the back like a real whale tail. I've done a lot of mods to make this kind of whale tail-ish. I got these whale tail kind of like posts where they got the bigger top hat on them. You can see that the post is a little, maybe it's hard to see here. So I'll go this way. That's so tough to see. Let's see. Yeah, this way. See the Floyd post, how the head on it is just a little bit taller. There we go. There's a good pic right there. You can see the head's a little taller. Put a steel block in the back. So yeah, basically, it was a Duncan pickup. It was a zebra pickup reverse. Just normal stuff Eddie had in there. Vintage nut. That is a real vintage Floyd nut. It's also got a vintage early 80s string retainer. They were Schaller tuners. Kramer neck plate had 6 screws in the back. These here I don't believe were the trem stoppers, but Eddie had somebody today put some trem stoppers in, because they're in the hard rock. They actually have trem stoppers in now. So That's just to make it look like today. And that's the back of the paint job. Pretty reliced up. Very cool guitar. Very, very cool guitar. I really love it. Fun guitar to play. Guitar porn, yeah. What's up, Andrew? Thanks, Mitch. It's a lot of fun. As I was talking about earlier, I love my Yamaha THR 10X. It's just amazing. I'm playing through a earlier Van Halen sound now. That's why you hear like a hall reverb. You know, you don't hear the delay like a balance sound. So you know, when you're doing like earlier Van Halen, it's like I said earlier, if you didn't catch it, like Everybody Wants Some, you get that kind of Everybody Wants Some sound. You know, it's got that kind of, not heavily chorused, but more reverby sounding than heavy delay. You know, so it fits the earlier Van Halen build. Oh, well. Try that again. So yeah, it sounds pretty good. And then I have a balance era sound that I really like. Yeah, it is a cool tone. I mean, it's great for that. You know, like I was doing Light Up the Sky a little bit ago. It's got a great sound for that earlier stuff. You know. You know, it's got a nice sound to it. I really like it. I like it. It's cool. It's got a nice sound to it. Sounds pretty decent, you know. I like the sound on it. Yeah, a little sloppy, but balance, yeah, balance is not gonna have anything drop D with it. Actually, hold on. I want to play balance. Switch tones. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Now you're going to get a little bit of a balance sound. There we go. Now you hear that more of a harmonized sound, you know. I've played Don't Tell Me forever. Something like that, isn't it? That's a fun song to play. And since we're in drop D, can't believe I'm embarrassing the hell out of myself playing songs again that I haven't played in a long time. That's a fun song to play. I literally have not even played Amsterdam in about 5 years. It's just for some reason I always remember. I mean, it's very sloppy sounding, but it's kind of a fun riff. It's obviously a drop B, but it's all, it's he plays the same thing. Everything is exactly the same with it. It's no different than, Panama. It's the same exact chords as Dance Night Away. It's the same exact thing. I mean, it's funny. He uses the same patterns, when he plays stuff. But balance was always fun. I always loved Seventh Seal. That's probably wrong, but I mean, it's like I said, I don't normally play much from the balance era, but I love it. It's my favorite tone. But what do you got for questions? Yeah, it sounds good. For some reason, it's not sounding great today. It's real choppy noise. Rob, just a heads up. There's some real choppy noise going on in the background. Yeah, it might be my little microphone. Light them up! Women in Love harmonics. Oh gosh. I don't know if I have the right delay on that, but It sounds awful, I know. Let's see. You guys are picking songs that I haven't played forever. Oh my gosh, this is funny though. Something like that. I don't know. I'd have to work that. The harmonics, though, are. I think it's. I know it's very similar to Dance Night Aways. It's too dirty, though. I think. Come on. Whatever. I'll have to figure that one out. It's kind of in the zone, so to speak. But one I was actually thinking about before was Don't Tell Me. I love that song. That's what I'm for. That sounds so muddy. Hang on one sec. I don't think this guitar is easy. It's the guitar's fault, not mine. I always blame it on the guitar, right? It's been so long. Something like that, I think, and then I think the second one, like I said, it's sloppy as hell, but I literally have not played these so. When I play, I remember the area that he played in, where it is, and once I'm in the general area, I can usually figure it out. It's kind of like Hot for Teacher. I gotta work on it, but he plays in those same zones. But I think the second part of the solo is something like. Get this. Now I'm mad. embarrassing myself. Oh, you guys are being really generous. 7C on the D and G string, but you got the high E string ringing out. Let's see. You mean on the main riff? I always thought the high E string was supposed to ring out. That's how I've always played it. And I've been muting the B, but letting the high E ring out. I don't know, maybe I'm not claiming to play it right, but Dutchie, what's up, man? Tony, she's not around right now. Yeah, Tony's not yelling. Oh, the neighbor's moving. So anyways, what else has happened? What else you guys want to hear? Oh, somebody is asking about the song. Hang 'em High, somebody was asking about on one of my channels. Again, that's one of those songs that I can sometimes get right, sometimes not. But it's basically it's played on the main riff is on the low E and the D string, and you mute the A string, and it's basically the pattern is. That's all that is. Actually, I'm going to go back to that second channel on this one. It sounds a little cleaner. It's not quite so balanced. Something like that, but that's all the pattern is. It's tough to play clean. It's tricky, but I mean without the without a lot of volume, it's basically just. That's basically all it is, and you're not wasting any motion. So like you down pick the low E, down pick the D, up stroke the low E. Downstroke the low E, downstroke the D string. So again, it's. Right, hold on. Some people do it backwards. They play this twice and the low E once. They go. It's the opposite. It's. If you really listen to the album, the lower note is what he's double picking. That's such a hard riff to play. It's actually easier sometimes to play it like this because you got to get that elbow mounted. Of course, now I can't play it. It's the same basically as it's very similar to like I'm the One. Something like that, but it's basically. It's just a groove. I mean, Eddie's just got that groove going, man. Pound cake. Actually, hold on. We got 316 first. Very underrated. I totally agree. Totally agree. That's a cool one. It's pretty simple, just mostly revolves around A. And Janie says, let your fingers go to the ninth fret on the D and then the seventh fret on the B, then you will play it like you need. Oh, okay, I'll check that out. Thank you. That's cool. You mean you're talking about 7th seal, right? That's what you're talking about? Okay. Pound cake. All right. I'm gonna play pound cake. I have this. I'll figure that out. Yeah, that pound cake's actually pretty basic, but I'm missing that chord when he goes high. Well, that's pretty much right. Or you can play it down here too. I don't hear that as an A though. That's what I'm hearing. But then on the last part, oh, there we go. I just added, I can't remember. My kid was born on 3/16, same day as Wolfgang. That's awesome. That's awesome. The power drill sounded exactly like how I thought it would. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It really is. I definitely love the drill. It's the real one. It really is the real one. actually, it's funny, we're talking about all these songs, and I haven't played so many for so long, but every time I play a song or start messing around with it, I'm like, oh, I want to learn that. I want to learn, or really want to relearn that. All these songs I've played for years, but like I said, I haven't, you know, you forget stuff, or I forget stuff so quick, you know, I really do. There's so many things that I forget, you know, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's fun. I just enjoy jamming and hanging around. I like to watch a lot of you guys when you guys do videos or, you know, YouTube stuff. I'll be like, you know, how do you do that? Or how do you do? Oh, there's an easier way to do it than what I've been doing all these years. So you're always learning, you know. I mean, I'm always having a good time learning stuff. It's just fun. Like I said, I'm a hobbyist when it comes to guitar. I just enjoy playing. But now that before we go, I want to ask you guys a question. I was working on The Dream Is Over the other day, and I used to play the song from start to finish, but I always flubbed up on the solo, and I haven't played the song for so long, so maybe you guys can go back to the drawing board, maybe somebody can send me a message, because I don't think the tab book's right, but The Dream Is Over. So Dream Is Over. Yeah, but everything about the song is actually not that hard, but the beginning of the solo where he does that high lick, you know, do you guys remember or anybody know how to play it? It almost sounds similar to AFU. You know in AFU where Eddie's does this part. I think it's similar. That part, and that was sloppy, but I know that's kind of what he's doing in AFU. He's coming up. Now, when The Dream Is Over, I think it's a little different, but it's that same descending pattern. You guys, Tony says, it's not a major, okay. But it's basically the same, type of a thing, like if you really break down AFU. I might be messing it up a little bit, but if you do it fast enough, you can make it. You know, it flows. But in Dream, another Dream, and then the rest of it's easy. I mean, that's all easy stuff. But just that little descending thing, you know. Take care, Tony. Take care. Hey, before you go, Tony, hold on. Hold on, before you go, hang on. You said pleasure. Hold on, wait, I have to play this thing forever. I can't even pull off Pleasure Dome right now. The harmonics don't want to ring out. think my A string. Yeah, it's hard to hit the harmonic on that. But have a good one, Tony. Take care, man. Yeah, me too. I love that. It's ticking me off that I can't seem to get the harmonic out of that guitar. I will get it on this one. But Back to the Dream is over in just 2 seconds. Is down. It sounded so horrible. I'm having a hard time hitting that harmonic today. Whatever. I think it's time to quit. Check out Evan's. Okay, I'll check that out. Definitely check that out. That's for The Dream Is Over, right, Janie? Okay. What else we got for questions? Looks like that's it. All right, I'll check that out. Actually, in a little while, definitely, absolutely. Well, anyways, guys, I just want to say thanks for checking it out. It's kind of a good time, hanging with you guys. I'm sure you guys all got to get ready to bounce and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. But thank you very much for chiming in and watching. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. It's Evanescence. Okay, I'll make a note of it when I go back and see the chat here. I'll find it, but I'll definitely check that out today. It's probably better than Ultimate Tabs or something like that, huh? But, psst, hey, come on, man, wake up. That's a great song. That's just got so much feeling to it. But anyways, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for hanging in there. And more to follow with, I'll definitely show you guys how this little project comes out. Should be kind of fun. I might even stripe it up tonight, just for the hell of it. I'm off tomorrow anyways. And yeah, it's kind of fun. So definitely some cool stuff. When my Steinberger comes back, I'll do a video on that. I'll definitely do a video prior to that because that's probably going to be at least a few weeks before I get that back. Yeah, we'll check out some more guitars. I'll be doing another fitness video pretty soon. And yeah, it was fun just hanging out with you guys and kind of just putzing around and learning a few riffs and messing up a few riffs and stuff like that. That's always fun because that's how I learn. Just hanging out and having a good time. So, in the immortal words of Eddie Van Halen in 2004, I'm just going to fuck off for a little bit. If you don't like it, throw something at me. Anyways. Alright guys, you have a good weekend. Again, thank you everyone for supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. There's definitely a lot of new names in here. Hey, Hallface, what's going on, Haleface? Nice to see you, man. Was Eddie's bridge pickup connected on the Music Man? Yes, it was. It definitely was connected on the Music Man because this was the first guitar that Eddie, first signature guitar that he designed with Music Man. The Kramers weren't really signature guitars, but this was the first model guitar that Eddie ever owned where he was satisfied with the sound he could get out of a neck pickup. All the others, he never really utilized the neck pickup. This was the first time he got a nice blend because Eddie's theory always was back in the 80s, I can never use a neck pickup because either one of them would sound good but not the other, so obviously he stayed with the bridge because he was a lead guitarist. But this was the first model signature guitar where Eddie was able to get the sound he wanted out of a bridge pickup. And he's never turned back since. With Music Man, with PD, with EVH, other than his signature, Stripe Series guitars. He always uses two pickups now. And typically what Eddie will do is he'll play the song in the bridge, but then when he solos, a lot of times he'll switch to the neck. Or for part of the solo, then he'll mess with his effects. But yeah, definitely. But thanks so much, guys, for your support. Please keep checking out the channel. If you like it, great, click on it. If you don't like it, that's fine. I'll take a thumbs down too, because that always is humbling and helps me know that there's some things I should tweak. But I'll be doing some more firearms videos, some training stuff out at the range. I'll also be doing some more fitness videos. I'm going to start doing some martial arts videos, some katas and stuff like that for those of you guys that have done or do martial arts. And we'll definitely keep cranking on the Van Halen guitar stuff for sure, because I just enjoy that. And every time I do a video, you guys get me thinking about, oh, how the hell did I play that, or how do you do that, or how do you do that? So when I leave, turn the camera off, I'll go figure something out. So I definitely got some homework to do today. Number one is Dream is Over, so I'll check that out. But Dutchie, thanks for jumping into all you guys. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy your families. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself, guys. Stay safe. Remember, live healthy. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time, but take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Exercise. Eat good. And, live long and prosper. So I'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much. Have a good night.